going on,
Oh,
fellas?
happy Thursday night, guys.
Thursday night. J.R. Krach. Is it Krach, yeah?
It's crash, like it crash a car.
Krach.
Crash, cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You can't really ask people how to pronounce their name. I feel like it's weird if you do that in writing.
Yeah,
And then it's
it's-
weird to do it on air. And you're like, all right, I guess.
It's German, so it's really like Krach. But I'm not
Okay,
gonna like
yeah.
walk around and be like, my name is J.R. Krach. So
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
easiest
Nobody
way
would
that we
like
go
it.
about
It gets
is
a little
Krach.
harder there.
Yeah.
Plus, everyone would hate you. They'd be
Exactly,
like, no.
yeah.
no,
I have
no.
zero friends.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey, man, thanks for coming on. The fun kind. They're all of our guests are fun, but you're like the surprise fun ones. Like we just kind of came into orbit with you, and like
Yeah.
the date just happened to work out where it was like nearly immediately. Where you were,
Nice.
we were both around, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was, and Matt had like, I don't know, it wasn't too long ago. Matt's going like, hey, we never talked about Kava. And I'm like, oh, I have a lot of experience with that. And our third partner, Dave, had talked about it a couple of times. And I'm like, I think there's a bar in Baltimore that
Yeah.
serves it.
Yeah. And I
Yeah, we're
love
actually
that.
the first ones here in
Yeah.
Baltimore now. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And you know what I'm really psyched about tonight is I know absolutely dick about Kava. Like nothing, like zero. Like I'm a complete noob.
Oh,
I've
nice.
got no background of any kind.
And I took a
Wait.
toxic dose once.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got both ends of the spectrum here, buddy. Buckle up. Yeah. Yeah. So how let's pave the way real quick. How do you get into Kava? Like why Kava? Like you now we know where you're at now. You got a bar that serves it, but like you didn't wake up and just
Yeah.
do that.
No, absolutely. So it all started really in Florida, which is huge with Kava.
Is it?
At Kava at the time, and I still am, but especially at that time, I was like very socially awkward. It was like really difficult for me to make friends. So I just kind of found this Kava bar. My wife actually introduced it to me. She was like, let's go check this out. We go in, we drink a Kava shell. It tastes like dirt.
Yeah.
My mouth
Spicy
goes numb.
dirt.
Yeah, my mouth goes numb, and I'm like, I don't know if I like this. Like, what's going on? I go and sit outside because I'm not really like necessarily feeling it. Next thing I know is this like super extroverted kid comes up and starts talking to me. So I just started talking to him. Next thing I know, he's bringing me inside. I'm doing shells in the bar. I'm like hanging out and talking to everybody, which is really unlike me, especially at that time. So it was an awesome night, but just like most awesome nights, you're like, that's like something that happened that night and that's it. A week later, I like bump into the bar again and everyone remembered me. They remembered the conversations we had because with Kava, you don't like lose your focal clarity. You maintain that focal clarity. So like all the relationships you build are actually like just real and authentic. People remember those conversations. They remember those relationships. So started kind of going every once in a while. Then I started kind of hitting it up like once, a couple times a week after work. Then I just started working in Kava around 2013 and really just loved the community. I'm a big proponent of all forms of plant medicine and I love Kava as a root, but more specifically, I love the community that it builds.
Yeah, and I think the very little I know about Kava usually ends up being around those things, right? Like one is it tastes like shit. I think everybody has told me dirt. I think that's the most common adjective. But everyone has said like it's a real social like thing, like and more. You're not the. I think more than a couple have mentioned it's a different kind of social. They didn't go into too much detail, but it's a different kind of social than alcohol-driven social.
Yeah, I mean, I like to view it as alcohol kind of masks like a lot of that anxiety that you carry around with you, where Kava actually relieves it. So it's actually designed to like build communities on the islands. They have what's called nakamas. And that's where everyone just kind of come together. They drink Kava, they socialize, they build relationships. And it's really a way that they just kind of bring the community together. And Kava kind of helps that along. Kava relaxes the body. It kind of makes you feel like you're just kind of hanging out in a hot tub, but it also kind of relaxes the mind, kind of gives you a little bit of like that uplift. So with that, you're just really kind of tuned in to like talking, building relationships, hanging out and talking. And just like on the islands, they really build it to build those communities together as one. That's what kava bars really do. You know, you
So
can
you
go.
keep saying the islands. What islands are we talking about?
Oh yeah, I guess that. Yeah,
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
it's the South Pacific Islands.
Okay.
So it originated on the island of Vanuatu. From there, it's kind of traveled along. You can get it in Fiji, the Solomon Isles, Papua New Guinea, Hawaii, really that whole stretch of Pacific Islands right there with, near New Zealand. Also New Zealand as well. Primarily, you need like a subtropic climate and volcanic activity in the soil for it to grow. So that's why like that little stretch is really like prime to grow and harvest kava.
And it's a root, or what is it?
Isn't it related to pepper too? Like it's in the pepper family?
It's a pepper plant, and it's actually just the root itself that you consume. So you don't consume the actual leaf or what you see above ground. You actually have to dig up the root system. That's why it takes 3 to 5 years to actually be able to harvest kava actually after you start growing it, because you actually want to get like that root structure that's underneath. Then you ground that up and steep it almost like a tea, agitate it so that you kind of release kava lactones in the liquid. And then you want to separate kava root from the liquid that is produced by it. You know, you don't want to really drink the root itself. You just want to kind of drink like the kava lactone secretion that comes from the root when you steep it.
How long you got to steep it?
About an hour to get like a really solid. Yeah.
All right, I remember getting something imported, and it came with like almost like a grain bag, like a mesh bag that you put the root in, and then I had to sit there and massage it in a bowl of water. Yes. You know, is that kind of how you guys are doing it at your spot, or is this kind of? Yeah,
you need to have the hand-on-hand contact. So we do it a little bit different. We originate by soaking our root directly into the water. And then agitating the root so that we get a really good separation of that kava lactone from the root. Then we let it steep for about an hour. After that, we transition it from one bucket that's root and water into another bucket that is going to be just kava lactone water. So with that, we actually have to pour it into like a fine mesh bag. And then you actually have to massage it. The massaging it's going to kind of release the kava lactones. It also, and this is going to sound really weird, it kind of transfers a little bit of energy in that too. When people are in like a really bad mood and they start, and there's like squeezing the living shit out of it, you're going to get like really, really rough kava. It's going to be bad. It's going to have like a not so great feeling. So you really got to have to put like a lot of good intention, you know, just put your soul into it. And when you remove the soul, because some people will just kind of toss it into a blender and then drink it. You know, when you remove the soul from it, you really remove a large portion of the sensation that you're going to feel.
The mushroom guys all say the same stuff.
You know what, JR? You're not even the first person to say something like that in the last 2 weeks. I mean, it's really, the conversations have gotten very weird here, but that by far was not the weirdest thing we've heard.
Yeah, but it kind of makes sense too. I mean, you know, like they've said that about cows for a long time. There's that whole argument about like, if you let the cow choose its own grass, and it's just, it's easier, better meat. Like when you end up killing it for the same reason. It's like there is, whether we're all collectively hallucinating or not, there seems to be continuity in this category. Like it happens more often than not. There's like a ton of examples.
Yeah, well, it depends. I mean, we used to be a lot more in tune with our surroundings and our environment. And with that, like with cows, will naturally kind of go and graze almost where the universe kind of directs them. Yeah. You know, so humans used to do the same exact thing. We used to graze and produce where the universe kind of guided us to do that. And we were a lot more in tune with everything that's around us. We came to a point where we became so mechanized in what we do, where we were just trying to hurry up and assembly line everything just to get it out quickly, that we kind of lost that connection. So really kind of building that connection back in with the plant medicine, it really puts not just heart, but it puts intention into it. You know, a lot of times people will just consume plant medicine just because they want to feel good in the moment. And that's amazing. I'm all for that. But also when you really go into it on a medicinal level and you put your intentions behind it, it kind of drives into a different scenario where you're really going to get a lot more out of it, I feel.
So so you guys make all of it? Honestly, I didn't
I
really
kind of,
think about
how
it.
much
I
you're
thought it
going
was-
through a day? Because I know,
Yeah.
like, I could only have 3 or 4. Like, I even got the one with the coconut shells, and I could only have 3 or 4 bowls of that and then be done.
The thing is, it has a reverse tolerance. So the longer you drink kava through time, the less and less and less you need. So when we first opened up, we were actually going through more kava than we are now because people start building that reverse tolerance. Obviously, more people come in and we have to make more kava for that. But essentially, we're going through about, I would say, a kilo of kava every 4 or 5 days.
Huh.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a kilo seems like a lot.
Matt's
but,
like, is that cocaine measurements?
yeah,
or is that?
yeah, are we talking brick of Colombian gold? No. I mean, I just think it's not like. I mean, it's a lot.
Well, how many drinks does a kilo make?
So
I guess
a kilo will make essentially about six gallons.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
And then
Gallons of kava.
you're mixing this, if I read your menu correctly. Are people aren't just drinking the straight kava?
Well, we do have that. You know,
Okay.
We are very much embracing traditional kava. The thing is, right now we're in Baltimore, where a lot of people don't know what kava is, and it has a very earthy taste. So when people come in, we always give someone a free shell.
Everyone talks so highly of.
Yeah, we give everyone a free shell of traditional kava so they can experience what's like traditionally. Also, because it's designed to build community, it allows us to welcome them into our community. But at the end of the day, most people, if they drink that shell and they say, "Okay, what else you have?" and I'm like, "I just got more of this brown water shells."
Yeah.
They're not going to hang out very long. So we really had to, create a space where people could actually start to feel the kava and appreciate it. So we started making mocktails and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Still using traditional noble kava, but making it in a way that's incredibly palatable. They're actually quite good. And then through time, we've seen that people will start off getting the mocktails, but most people ultimately end up transitioning into just drinking standard shells. And that's really our main goal, is to get people to just drink natural shells. 3 days or 3 times out of the day, we have a thing where everyone gets a shell for $1, but we all come together at the bar and we all drink together, bring community together, and really showcase what kava is really supposed to do.
Interesting.
I like that concept.
Social. Yeah, I didn't realize the social slant was that heavy. Like
It's huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't taste good. So
I love how honest that was.
Yeah.
It's like eating shit, man. I mean, there's gotta be something else.
Yeah. And you can get something that doesn't necessarily taste good and have it shipped to your house, and then you can just sit and drink something that's not super great and just sit at home and watch TV, and that's cool. But really it's designed to kind of build that community and bring people together, and it naturally does that. We've seen it since day one. People that are complete strangers at the bar, they drink a couple of shells. Next thing you know, they're like best friends and making plans to hang out. It creates an atmosphere. It's like when I was a kid, we didn't have cell phones because I'm old. So we would all just kind of meet up. We knew where to meet up, like whether it was like a tree fort or someone else's house. There was like specific places where everyone meet up. And this is what this kava bar has created, and most kava bars have created. It's like that meetup spot where your people are going to be there at some point in the day. You kind of go, you hang out, and this might be the starting location. You might bounce around the rest of the city. You might stay for the rest of the night for open mic night or some of the other things that we have going on. But it really kind of creates like this very strong community that I feel people really, they need, especially coming out of COVID. Humans are social creatures. They need that relationship building. They need that social outlet. And with these new generations and stuff like that kind of removing themselves from alcohol for more healthy alternatives, it creates a space where people can be healthy, they can feel amazing, and build those relationships and community that they need.
Yeah, I'm actually really glad I don't own a liquor brand, because not that they're hurting for cash by any means, but there's so many other things you can do than drink anymore that are way better to do, not just for your health, but just more fun, less nauseating. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, whatever.
Yeah, you're
I mean,
okay
you
the
have
next
you have
morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the
There's a ton of
legalization
options.
of cannabis. Yeah, you have legalization of cannabis. You have, certain areas, the decriminalization of psilocybin and other functional mushrooms,
Oh yeah,
kava,
we're right outside of
things
DC.
that make you feel
You're-
amazing and don't make you feel horrible the next day. And
yeah.
that's primarily, I'm not against drinking by any means, but I'm also old and just got tired of waking up with a hangover.
Yeah.
I got tired of going to bed with acid indigestion because I was drinking. So,
Yeah.
So that's an interesting one, JR, because one of the things that happens in the times I've consumed kava,
Mhm.
there's a weird thing that happens in my stomach where even if I haven't had much to eat,
Mhm.
my stomach feels so full.
Oh yeah.
And it's the weirdest sensation. I'm like, because this was like a little cup of liquid. It's not.
Yeah. Yeah. No, so what happens is, so when you drank kava, did you get like that numbing in the mouth?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's a mild topical analgesic. When it kind of touches your mucous membranes, it kind of gives you that numbing sensation. So when you're drinking kava, and especially if you haven't really had a lot to eat, that numbing sensation actually travels down into your stomach. And you kind of feel a little bit full from that numbing sensation. It will generally go away. Most likely, if you're doing like a full body kava, that's more apt to happen. If you use more like a kava lactone extract, you're going to get more of the cerebral aspect, a lot less of like that full body. But I mean, I personally like the full body. The full body is what delivers that melting away of like that tension and stress that you carry around in like your shoulders and jaw and stuff like that. But at the same time, it can sit heavy in the stomach with that analgesic property.
So what's happening? You seem to be like a super kava nerd, which I absolutely love, by the way. It's fucking awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. But like, what is it doing, like scientifically, biologically? What's happening to me when I'm drinking? I mean, what's causing all that shit? You're describing a lot of stuff.
It's basically interacting with your GABA receptors, primarily your GABA A receptors. So it's going in and tickling that. It's releasing chloride ions, which actually kind of to your neurons. With that, you're actually blocking your calcium and sodium channels, and that's kind of decreasing your blood pressure, kind of relaxing the body. At the same time, it's kind of inhibiting your neurons from rapidly firing. So it's basically giving you that calm, very easy relaxation. It's also loosening your muscles, and that's where you really get that kind of soaking into like a hot tub sensation. So with the blocking of those calcium and sodium channels, and that chloride ion to neuron pathway, kind of keeping them from firing, is where you're going to get a lot of that relaxation from.
I'm
really
kind of bummed we didn't get down there tonight.
Yeah, you guys gotta come. You gotta come.
No, we'll definitely, we definitely will. I told Tom, I'm like, tell him we're definitely going to come down. I just couldn't pull it together this fast. But
we've got a lot going on in the background right now, and that's really kind of the one doing the majority of that work.
Yeah.
But I think it would be really cool, and it sounds like you have a really awesome community there. When people are hanging out, I mean, what are they doing? Are they just chatting? You got video games? What? Like,
we don't have video games. So we
have a mean game of Uno that breaks out every once in a while.
Our full bar, we have a vape shop on the first floor, but the second floor is a bar and a lounge in which people are hanging out, mostly just kind of relaxing, having conversations. The later the night gets, the wilder the conversations get. We also have in our lounge, we have open mic night. We have on Mondays, on Tuesdays, we have like trivia. Wednesdays is a prime time to come and try kava for the first time because it's $25 all you can drink kava shells. So it really starts kickstarting that reverse tolerance. We have music here some nights. We have comedy shows like every other Saturday. So we always have events going on. But for the most point, it's just people hanging out, relaxing, most of the time at the bar and just talking all as one. A lot of times when you go to a bar, you have like those separate conversations that just kind of pop up and happen.
Yeah.
And you're going to have that here too. I mean, naturally people, especially if they're coming in a group, they're going to start off with just that group. But as time goes on, people just start kind of hanging out the bar, talking, having wild conversations. And then upstairs we have like an arcade. So we have like 3 separate arcade cabinets and then 2 TVs. One TV has original Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Nintendo 64. The other TV has PlayStation 1, 2, 3, and 4, original Xbox. So it's like when I said it's like a clubhouse, it's like a clubhouse.
That's
like,
pretty awesome.
People come just to hang out and relax and have fun. There's like no need to be like the funniest person at the bar or the most attractive or whatnot. It's just coming and hanging out with your friends. And it like kind of throws you back to how we were back in the day in like middle school. Think back in middle school when you're just hanging out without any kind of pressure of any kind of performative nature, just chilling and having fun. And that's what you find at kava bars.
Yeah. So legal, it seems obviously like there's nothing that can be illegal about it. I mean, it feels.
No, no, because it is, I mean, it's grandfathered in through Hawaii as a safe food. So it's grandfathered in that aspect. Obviously, we have to treat it in DSHEA terms. You know, we can't say that it cures anything or anything like that because it's not regulated by the FDA. But on a nationwide stance, there hasn't really been a whole lot of issues concerning the legalization of kava. There was an issue in Virginia where they wouldn't let them essentially mix kava with anything. They could only sell it in its traditional sense. And
you couldn't make a kava.
They couldn't make a mocktail. Vodka. Yeah. So exactly.
Yeah.
So
like the opposite of a Four Loko.
Yeah.
Oh my God. No, that would wreck you. So if you drink kava and alcohol at the same time, your liver, the same enzyme is what filters it out. So it will only filter one out. So it will filter the kava,
God.
And alcohol will continue to recirculate through your blood system over and over again, making you feel perpetually intoxicated and give you the worst hangover the next day. You do not want to mix kava
horrible.
and alcohol.
That sounds like something I do not want to ever try for fun.
No. And granted, it's not something like you basically just have to give time for your body to start to filter one out. So if you're drinking alcohol through the day, give it like a couple hours, up to like 3 hours, and then you can drink some kava. You just don't want to like be like pounding them back and be like, I have an idea, let's go to a kava bar right now, because that just that won't be a fun jams.
Yeah. And then the other way, does it same problem? Like you don't want to go the other way either, get all kava.
Either way, you don't really want to mix it. I mean, it mixes well with pretty much everything else. Kava is a magnifier, so it actually enhances and prolongs whatever you consume with it. So if you consume cannabis and then drink kava, you're going to have an amazing time because it's actually going to enhance the cannabis and actually prolong the experience. Same with psilocybin, same with other functional mushrooms. Really, alcohol is the only thing that you really have that slippery slope with, primarily because it's that same enzyme in the liver that's digesting it.
That's wild. I've never even heard of anything else that does that.
That might be the best pitch, like against alcohol, right there. It's
right.
It's like this is great with everything except alcohol, and you're like,
yeah. Like alcohol is like the nerdy kid at school that no one wants to hang out with when you're drinking kava.
It just causing problems.
Right?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Years ago, I have a sense that we're not all that different in age. Like when I was a kid, no one ever fucking heard of kava. That was not a thing.
No.
Like, right. And I grew up in California. I've been to Hawaii. Mm-hmm. That's our Caribbean, man. Like that, you know.
Yeah.
I never heard of fucking kava my entire life. Like ever. And recently it's like exploded. Like kava's everywhere.
It has
like,
exploded.
What happened?
Well, it all started a man named Jeffrey Bowman. I'm going to nerd out here for a second about.
Please do it. That's what the show's about, man.
History.
That's why we pay you the big bucks, dude.
So a man named Jeffrey Bowman actually went to the island of Vanuatu and fell in love with kava. He was the first one to actually bring kava to the continental U.S. In that time, it was still used in Hawaii, but it was used very strictly for spiritual purposes and stuff like that. It wasn't considered anything that was sociable or anything that they were willing to share with people. So when he found kava at Vanuatu, he fell in love with it, got together with their Department of Agriculture, some farmers, and brought it over to the continental U.S., opening up the first kava bar in Boca Raton. After that, basically it started off with 2 or 3 friends just loving it, and they decided to open up their own bars, and it just started kind of building primarily in Florida. You know, you see it really start to slowly build in South Florida, in Boca Raton, where it originated in the continental U.S. But then in the west coast of Florida, it really took off to the point where at this point, it's easier to find a kava bar than a coffee shop in some areas. In Florida right now, there's roughly 250 kava bars in that state. So from there, what generally happened was people that lived down there, because Florida is a very transient state, a lot of people coming and going, they fell in love with kava.
A lot of old people passing on.
Exactly.
Yeah. They go back to New York City to
Transient
fucking kava bar.
Yeah, so with this transient nature, they would take kava and start opening kava bars in other states. Opening it in North Carolina has a very big flourishment of kava bars. Colorado, Arizona. In the West Coast, the first kava bar, I believe, was in like Portland, Oregon. So right now we have like this big rush of kava slowly creeping up the East Coast. We have some in North Carolina. Then the next one would actually be us in Baltimore. But then you start hitting a lot more up in Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, even Maine. And then they're starting to build up a lot more in the West Coast as well. We kind of still need to sandwich in. Middle America's still kind of missing out on the kava.
Well, it's so weird. You didn't hit big cities. It wasn't L.A., New York. Like you didn't drop them as like this is where it really blew up, which is kind of like a lot of the areas that you picked. I don't, and maybe this is me being biased. I don't necessarily see them as cultural, hubs.
Yeah. Well, that's actually like a dual purpose behind that. The first one is looking for like small communities, places that are in need of like a place where people can build community and hang out. Everyone in New York primarily has their community. A lot of it also has to do with ease of opening up and basically what you're looking to tackle. A lot of times in New York and bigger cities, people already have what they're used to, what they're accustomed to. Opening up a kava bar is incredibly difficult, not just because of certain regulatory issues and worry about legalities and stuff like that, and government bodies not necessarily knowing what it is, but also a populace that doesn't know what it is. So when you're looking at like a really large hub, you're looking at high rent and roughly about a year to 2 years of barely breaking even, because that's your time where you're basically just trying to convince people to drink this muddy water and trust you that it's going to taste good, or not taste good. It's going to taste horrible, but feel good. And with that, you have to dedicate the time to get people to trust you. If we open up in New York City and we say, hey, try this, they drink it, it tastes bad. It doesn't really have a name associated with it of people wanting to try it. They leave and never think of it again. So you have that time of building trust, building community. And when you're paying substantial rent, in a large hub, that's a lot harder to pull off than if you're going to like a smaller community and building from there and slowly trying to grow into more of a hub atmosphere.
I can see that. That's interesting because you never hear that, right? Like you never hear like, oh, I'm building a business in the smaller city because it makes more sense. Like that said nobody ever. Like,
but positioning it as that third place that like a Starbucks claims to be. So you have a place where somebody can go that's not work, that's not home, that's in those smaller communities makes perfect sense. Now, I'm going to ask you a question about, I don't want to call it a supply chain, but are we depleting it from the islands if now we're kind of starting to consume it at a bigger level than probably they are there?
There is always that worry, and that is a stressor right now. They are currently there are some farms that are growing in the continental U.S. To produce kava. You need that subtropic climate, so it's primarily in like Florida, some areas in Texas, Southern California, and you need that volcanic activity in the soil, which a lot of times they're reproducing. So it's going to be a little bit different. Kava is very similar to wine, where you get a different effect depending on what island or region it's from, primarily because of that volcanic activity in the soil.
So those micronutrients from the volcanic.
Exactly. Right. But with it taking 3 to 5 years, we're not at the point yet where we've even really been able to try a whole lot of it. So we don't know how well it's going to turn out. But studies and just people talking about it that have been able to try it have saying that it's been doing them quite well. So that's going to help ease up a lot of that issue right there. A
Mhm.
lot of the times when it comes to, a lot of the islands, the biggest thing that hits us are larger companies that sell like bottled kava, buying out large crops. Also, natural disasters hitting always kind of causes like a disturbance in the chain. Primarily with that, you still just need to make sure that you're going with someone that is ethical in how they're producing kava. Kava offers like a great biodiversity. So it can actually grow within like rainforest and with other plants and stuff like that. You don't actually need to pull down or deforest any kind of area to start growing kava. So a lot of farmers are recognizing this, and even if they need to expand their fields, they're expanding it into an area that's already populated with other forms of botanicals, but with the ability for its biodiversity, it's not really causing an issue in that aspect. But you do want to stay away from farmers that are working to deforest in order to just kind of plant large crops. So it's like a yes or no. There's always that risk, especially when there's like massive, weather patterns along those Pacific islands. But we actually haven't had an issue where it's depleted them to the point where they weren't able to still maintain their own kava for their own spiritual ceremonies and for their own social gatherings. And with the resourcefulness of us growing it on the continental U.S., I see within probably, I think about 2 or 3 years out, we'll be in like a really good standing where we won't have to worry about that at all.
Oh,
that's great.
Yeah, that's the thing with everything, right? As soon as the commercial requirement hits, those little things tend to iron themselves out. It's always that adolescent stage at the beginning where, like, we had that with mescaline, right? Didn't we? Or peyote, one of them.
Peyote
like
specifically,
yeah. Like that's kind of leveling itself out now, mostly with the diversity of other options, I guess, but also like just education and like the farming habits have changed. But none of that was going to happen unless a bunch of hippies were like, save the peyote buttons.
Exactly.
And when a lot of people want to take peyote, they're like, we should figure this out before we have no peyote. Yeah. And voila, it fits.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
I asked that. Our buddy Dre came on talking about combo, and I asked him that after a ceremony. I'm like, are they hurting these? Or like non-indigenous people hurting these frogs? Mm-hmm. And he's like, dude, it makes you vomit violently. Like not that many people are signing up going, let me do this on the daily.
Yeah.
He's like, this is not something people are going, this is fun. Let's do it more.
Let's do it more.
It's not like the next like club, drug.
No, it's not just a bunch of people.
That's hilarious.
Rave dancing, playing with their glow sticks and like vomiting a couple minutes later.
No. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's funny. For that reason, I'm like almost violently opposed to trying combo for this exact. I'm like, are you insane? Like,
it was so amazing for me.
Oh my God.
But that first time I thought I was going to die in his living room. I really did. I was like, yeah, this is where I die. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then 10 minutes later, I'm like, I feel fucking amazing.
Yeah. No. Nope. I love the idea of kava. This sounds awesome, and I'll take some dirt water, no problem. But like violently
my tongue's gonna go a little numb. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
No. Exactly.
I mean, wow. So like, look, you squeeze it, massage it, get it all cleared out. Like, do you then cut it with something for the actual drink, or are you just drinking straight up?
No, you just drink it straight up. It's completely natural, just root and water. We can flavor it for people if they want it to be flavored, but naturally we just kind of drink it as it is. We give people like a pineapple to chew on afterwards. But yeah, we don't really cut it with anything because it's gonna kind of defeat the purpose of it. Also, because it works off a reverse tolerance, we want people to get as much of it as they can their first time. As time goes on, you need less and less and less and less. But their first time, the last thing we want is someone to spend their money and drink something, and then having us cut it for monetary reasons or whatnot, and them not.
Well, no, it wasn't. I wasn't like asking that question from a monetary lens. I was asking it from a just preparation lens. Like, do you get do you get like a kava extract from that? You got to like, bring it up to a different solution. You know what I mean? Like I'm just curious.
He literally hands you a bowl of mud water.
Right. Yeah.
It literally it looks like mud water, and I tell everyone it tastes exactly how
like it looks. Yeah.
And then I have to warn them about the numbing effect, because I don't want people to think that they're having a stroke or whatnot. I actually had somebody come in, and I'm giving my spiel about what kava is, and they interrupt me, and they're like, "Is this related to walnuts? Because I'm allergic to walnuts." And I'm like, "No, it's not anything related to walnuts at all. You're not."
Oh my God! And then their mouth went numb.
Well, yeah, because I got interrupted, I forgot to actually finish the rest of my speech. So then I give them the kava, and then like 5 minutes later,
he's reaching for his EpiPen.
They're like, "My mouth is numb," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's normal." But at that point, once someone's mouth is numb and they already think they're having an allergic reaction, me being like, "Oh no, that's normal." That just sounds like I'm just some asshole just trying to like, "Oh no, you're fine. Don't worry about this situation at all." So yeah, we need to make sure that people know that.
Doris, get my EpiPen. Call 911. I'm dying.
Yeah, that's an amazing mixture, kava and epinephrine.
I'll be honest with you. I hate that feeling. That numb mouth feeling drives me crazy. So I'm glad you told me that ahead of time, so that when I do have it, I can like brace for that a little bit. You know?
It goes away relatively quickly, especially if you drink it as the shell. You know, when people get the mocktail, you know, at that point they're not just drinking it straight up; they're sipping on it. So every time they sip, their mouth goes numb. And then they're like, "I thought you said this was going to go away." I'm like, "Well, it does, but you're just continuously drinking.
You can keep drinking
so
more
of
of it.
Every time it hits your mucous membrane, it's actually going to cause that numbing sensation as well. And that's why there's not a lot of... So you're supposed
to just shoot it back, like just take it all down in one sip kind of thing?
That's the way you do it. It comes in like a coconut shell. You just kind of, we raise it in the air. We say bula, which is Tahitian for to life and good health. We drink it down, and then bite the pineapple if you need the chaser. And then the numbness goes away relatively quickly. Some people have tried to like cook with it, which never works out well because it makes your mouth numb. So if you're eating something and then your mouth goes numb, you're not actually tasting anything. You're just chewing.
Sort of the opposite of what you want food to be.
Exactly. So it's really designed to just do it as quick as possible. Really, you're going to want to. You know, I've been drinking kava
now for 13
years.
I mean, you're like, this is so bad. Let me tell you again.
Well, how's business, Jay?
It's amazing.
Yeah. I just can't overstate this enough. It is
We've got 2-3 people at the bar right now.
They're sitting there. They want to leave, but I just keep on staring at them. Don't
go, guys. Don't go, guys.
Don't go. So fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do want to do like a live show, and so everyone could see what a fucking wimp I am when I'm like, blah, my mouth. I can't feel my mouth.
It's not that bad. Every once in a while, because I have to drink it. Every time someone comes in for their first time, I have to drink a shell with them because it's designed to build community. So no one's drinking by themselves. So I'm doing shell after shell after shell sometimes. And there does reach a point where I never really have an issue with numbness until periodically it will hit. And then I'll be in like the middle of explaining what kava still is. And my mouth starts going numb. And then I start slurring. Meanwhile, I'm telling people about like how safe it is, how so much red alcohol, how it's not
but this is my 35th shell today.
It's not going to affect like your mental faculties, and at the same time, like kava is really good.
Yeah, exactly.
That kind of gets a little messed up. But outside of that, it goes away relatively quickly.
So like, that was going to be one of the questions. I was like, I can't leave without asking this. Like onset to roll off. Like walk me through the time event horizon here. Like we suck back the shell. How long till I'm feeling kavad? You know,
well, it depends because it's a reverse tolerance, and it depends on how you metabolize it. Some people just get it off that first drink almost immediately. Some people will need like a second drink, and then generally it will hit around 20 to 25 minutes. You'll really start feeling it. Essentially, you'll start off by feeling, like I said, a lot of that tension that you carry around in your shoulders and your jaw will just kind of melt away. And it's going to be subtle. It's not like out of nowhere. You're just like, oh my God, I feel amazing. It's like a subtle, you kind of feel yourself relax into your chair. Then after about 5 minutes after that, on a cerebral level, you'll feel a little bit more bubbly. You know, you'll feel a little bit more apt to kind of just talking to the person next to you, or you're just going to feel a little bit more sociable. After that, it can run up to about 2 hours of just feeling really, really good. Or for some people, especially when they're first drinking it, because they don't have that reverse tolerance built up, it can go away in like an hour or so.
Oh, interesting. Okay. And then like what's roll off like? You're just back to normal, or are you like, is it like,
it's very subtle. So imagine yourself, you know, you're in like the mountains of Colorado and you're just hanging out in a hot tub with like the coolest people in the world, and you're looking at the stars, you're looking at the moon, everything feels amazing. And then as time goes on, you're just kind of packing up your night and you're like, all right, let's get out of the hot tub. And you like gradually stand up and you'll feel like some of that warmth begin to leave, some of that relaxation in your shoulders. You're basically just kind of reaching to how you were feeling before you started getting into the hot tub.
Right.
That's basically what you're going to feel. It's not going to be something that's going to be like a sharp decline.
A gentle landing.
Yeah.
It's very gentle. It's pretty much like, all right, I'm just kind of back to how I was before I had any kava, but it's very gradual.
Oh, that's interesting.
So then let's say somebody with, and you explain the reverse tolerance here, but somebody who might be doing it for the first time or somebody that hasn't drank it in a while, how much do they normally need? Is it like two shells and then they're good, or am I doing 10 of them?
No, not 10. It's like 1 to 2 shells for most people.
Okay.
But we do have like the $25 all you can drink for the case. There are going to be those rare people that just need a lot their first time. But for the most point, we've had people feeling immediately after one. Whether or not that's psychosomatic, I'm not quite sure, because I'm telling them how they're going to feel. And they're like, oh, I absolutely feel that way. Because I know when I first drank it, I did not feel anything my first drink. I was actually quite unhappy with the fact that I drank it. And so I needed that second one. And then I was like, this feels amazing. So most people, I would say, if, just going off of just a large majority, about 2 drinks.
Okay. Well, that's not too bad.
That's not terrible.
No.
Okay. Now, and so I'm like, is this a thing that people come like for the first time and spend like hours there? Or are you sort of like a party trick? They come and check you out and like
we get a little bit of both. I mean, we're brand new into Baltimore. Not a lot of people know what kava is. So we're going to have people that are going to come in as a novelty aspect, to try something they've never tried before. They may come, hang out for like an hour or so, leave, and they might come back, once every 2 or 3 weeks or whatnot, just to hang out for a little bit. Then you have the people that come and really kind of embrace it. They drink, 2 drinks at the bar. They start talking to people. Next thing you know, they're there all night. I have this one customer. His name is TJ. Every time he comes in, he's like, I'm going to be here for a half an hour. And then he's here with me until around, 10, 11 o'clock at night. You just kind of get relaxed into like that atmosphere, just hanging out and just feeling relaxed and being with people. Right. So a lot of people, for the most part, if they embrace it and they enjoy how they're feeling, even for their first time, they're here for hours on end. Whether hanging out at the bar, talking, or playing video games upstairs.
And how does the law feel about? How does the law classify this? Like, do you need a liquor license to serve it? Is it like having a lemonade stand? Like, what's the?
It's going to be closer to. It's like essentially a tea shop.
Kava
that makes sense.
Yeah, kava in its essence is a tea. You have to steep it and then you have to strain it. When it comes to mocktails, you're looking more at like a flavored tea. So you don't need like a liquor license at all. It's treated very much just like you would if you're opening up a tea shop.
And then I'm assuming people are safe to drive when they leave, right? I mean, that's...
No, yeah, you maintain full focal clarity the entire time, which is the greatest thing about it. That's why you really build like those real authentic relationships, because you don't get muddled in the brain. You don't have like a wild night and then meet up with somebody the next day and have no idea what you were doing. You maintain full focal clarity and you maintain full control of yourself. You're just relaxed and enjoying yourself and maybe a little bit more upbeat. So you're still very much able to get behind of a car without kind of worry of getting in any kind of danger at all.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Would I guess, do people come in and use it to like work, or is this you're just too mellow? Yeah.
No,
because I could see myself bringing a laptop and just kind of.
Yeah, work and studying it's great for studying because it relaxes you, but you maintain that full focal clarity. So if you're someone that is really anxious about studying or anxious about something you need to get done at work or anxious about a meeting that you have to go through, drinking kava, it relaxes you, it settles you down, it gets rid of that anxiety, but you maintain that full focal clarity. So when you're studying, you're retaining everything that you're studying. You're just relaxed with it. It's not like with alcohol or something else where you're studying all night, relaxed, but not remembering a single thing that you read the next day. So you maintain that relaxation, you kind of eliminate that stress that's kind of blocking you from retaining information. And because you're fully cognizant of everything going on, you're retaining all the information that you're studying, that you're working on at work. Or if if you have to do a meeting, we have people that actually bring their laptops here to do virtual meetings with their bosses or whatnot, because we have a lot of little quiet areas that they can go to as well, especially during the day. They can relax, not get stressed out about it, and not worrying about, cussing their boss out if
if things go sideways. JR, is there an age limit? Like, are you guys like 18 and up, or is it?
We age gate. It's not federally. There is no age restrictions on it on a legal avenue. We age gated at 18 plus for Kava, primarily because we're the first ones in Maryland and in Baltimore, and we really want to watch the Kava communities grow and watch it really flourish in Baltimore, Maryland, because it can do amazing things for the state. So we want to really treat it in a very respectable manner. With that, we don't want someone that's coming in that's like 16 and drinking it and feeling really great, and then going home and acting goofy or whatnot, and their parents be like, "What's wrong with you?" And then being like, "Oh, I drank Kava, and that's why I'm," we don't want that to happen. We want to really show, especially like the government bodies, that we are responsible, that we care more about building community and the health benefits and what it can do for people. And that's way too important to kind of hinge on running a risk like that where we're not age gating it ourselves.
Huh. Well, I mean, listen, I'm super excited to have talked to you tonight because, like I told you, I don't know shit about Kava, and it's kind of like one of those things that I mean, I'll say it's trendy now. It's getting trendy, right? And like, so a lot of people that are talking about it are kind of douchey, and I'm like, all right, like, what's the real answer here? Because I don't know. And I'm like, all right, I don't want to talk to that guy about this because I'm going to get some story out of it.
And I mean, anytime you're dealing with any kind of plant medicine too, there's transparency issues involved. A lot of people will say like, this is my favorite form of plant medicine. And then when you talk to them, then it's the utopian plant medicine. It like basically cures everything known to man and has no drawbacks. And a lot of times, especially with Kava, other things like Kratom, people run the risk of giving it a bad light. So they can sometimes over embellish the good and undersell or underscore some possible negatives behind it. So in my personal opinion, whenever, especially it's new, and we want to be able to showcase that we are responsible with what we're doing, we really want to be fully transparent about every aspect of it. I don't hide the fact that it doesn't taste good, but there's also other things involved, like you don't want to consume it with alcohol. You don't want to drink it when you're pregnant because it can cause a miscarriage. And there's factors involved that you just don't want to run the risk of. And with that, not a lot of people want to do that because they just want it to be legal and fully legal and never have any worry. And they sometimes skirt away from issues that could possibly paint it in not the greatest of light.
Right. It's funny. I was thinking about Kratom at least a couple times on this call.
And we got some people coming in to talk about that who actually have worked on some legislation in the state.
Kratom is amazing. We serve there's teas and stuff like that you can get. I'm a huge proponent of Kratom.
It's in the same neighborhood as Kava, it seems.
Very much so. I mean, it's completely different. I mean, it's a leaf from Indonesia that's related to the coffee plant. And that one you're getting either like a relaxed sedative feel or like a euphoric pain relief kind of feel. It depends on what kind of vein you're having. But it's amazing on a medicinal level, amazing for so many aspects of life. But due to transparency issues and some people choosing to remove certain alkaloids to make it incredibly potent, it comes into legal issues. But in its natural state, it's a beautiful plant and amazing.
This is very similar to cacao leaf.
Yes.
Cocoa leaf, sorry. Yeah. Where it's like we can make it into cocaine and we have problems, or we can leave it as a leaf you chew and you don't get tired.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's really the best way to go about it for sure.
Yeah, right. and I think a lot of the issues is 7-OH is the compound. Is
horrible.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of kids are going to because it's strong.
And the thing is with 7-OH, I mean, I'm going to go against the grain. I don't believe that it should be completely banned. I feel like it should be regulated. on a harm reduction level, if someone has cancer, I'd rather them take something like 7-OH than something like a very high potent
opioid. Yeah.
Opioids kind of shallow your breathing, and that's what causes overdose and dies. Where 7-OH, even in its strongest form, it gives a similar sensation on pain relief, but it doesn't shallow your breathing, so you're not going to die.
Yeah.
So when it comes to things like that, when it comes to people, I'd rather someone buy 7-OH than be addicted to heroin.
Absolutely.
On a harm reduction level, I don't think it should necessarily be completely washed away. I would never use it. And I think it needs to be very strictly regulated. But I think just a flat ban is going to cause more harm than good, just because you're pushing someone into a less safe alternative.
And just playing devil's advocate here, I own headshop.com and have for 2.5 decades. So like we've been adjacent to all of these industries as they formed, right? And the issue with like the Kratoms and and like I call them summarily science weed, your Delta, all your Deltas,
Delta 9s.
Yeah, all your THC versions, all the, it's a never ending game of cat and mouse, molecularly speaking, between government and chemists. And every year at the trade show in Vegas, like you can kind of see what this year's molecular roulette is going to be, because like all the booths like have changed. Like 8OH was like 2 years ago, I think, like everybody had one. And then like the year later they were all gone and it was something else. Metragine keeps trying to come back, they'll extract this down, so I think the bans are kind of like the only blunt force instrument to like keep those douchebags at bay, unfortunately, because as soon as they find out they can play fuckery with the molecules and make a ton of money, then I don't want to shit on your Florida, but they sell it to a bunch of dipshit teenagers in places like Florida.
Shit on Florida all the way. I'm not a Florida native. I spent about 10 years in Florida, and I'm not going to go to the defense of Florida.
Most of our rules against things happen because too many dumb people did something dumb.
Something happened in Florida.
Something happened
most
in
of the time,
Florida.
I believe bath salts came out of Florida.
Yeah, of course they
salts.
did.
Yeah. And then when people even ask me, they're like, "Why did you move? Why did you move from Florida?" I'm just like, "Well, Florida just flirted."
Florida,
to the point where Florida just gets too much Florida, and you just can't take it anymore.
Yeah, you just have to be like, "I'm Floridaed out, guys."
Exactly. A lot of the people that come here now are actually, we call them like the Florida expats. Because they've all like left Florida in droves and found us because of looking for like a kava bar.
Looking for a kava place, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of Jimmy Buffett paraphernalia in your bar, I'm guessing.
No, dude. I do not, no.
Oh, man. Little shark fins everywhere.
No.
A bunch of parrot heads.
Yeah.
My dad's side of the family, like every wedding they will play Cheeseburger in Paradise and Margaritaville. I hate Jimmy Buffett. I cannot.
Oh my God, we can't be friends. Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry.
Like,
I'm sorry.
I've been to one too many concerts, and
no,
I hate admitting that. It's kind of painful now. But
what are you talking about? I love. Come on, man. You can't like not smile at a Jimmy Buffett concert, for Christ's sake.
I don't know. I think as I've gotten older, I'm
happiness.
like, there's a lot of sad people here.
Yeah. Right?
These people think they're living in Margaritaville.
Oh man, no. Although the restaurants are, I can't do that.
Well, I mean, look, you do it once and then you're good. You're good.
Yeah.
It's an experience.
Yeah. I got the cheeseburger. I'm good.
Well, JR, like man, how do we? I'm super glad that we took time with you today. Let's do the sell you part. Where do we send people? Like, how do we get people interested in kava? Like, give us a rundown.
Yeah, absolutely. We are right in Mount Vernon. We're on Cathedral Street. It's Root City Kava. The best thing I can say is just kind of come in and give it a try. It's a no-lose situation. Everyone, when they come in, they're going to get their free shell for free. That's designed so that way they can experience what's like traditionally. It helps us welcome them into the community. And it also, worst case scenario, if they don't feel it and they buy a drink, they'll feel it that second time. but they could feel it that first time. We didn't want to run an issue where someone was purchasing something and then not necessarily feeling it. So we will make sure that you'll at least get to experience what Kava is, feel it, and just kind of be brought into the community. And the best thing I can say about selling Kava is just come in for the experience. It's very calm. It's relaxing. It builds a reverse tolerance. So the longer you come and hang out, the less money you actually end up spending, through
It's a
time.
terrible business model, JR.
It's a horrible business. That's why our business model is building community. So,
there you're wrong. I mean, capitalism wants to tear apart community.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not,
we made it 55 minutes until I went full anti-capitalist.
I'm a socialist leftist, so I'm all in there with you.
I'll point to my my Fidel Castro
there
photo.
We go.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
No,
You two are fucking hilarious.
I am very much anti-capitalist. So
Matt's gonna be like, Tom's gonna get on the train when we go down there.
No, that makes sense. Anti-capitalists start Kava bars where people spend much less money over time. That makes sense.
Enough though, most Kava bars are started by capitalists. But
I would guess.
Well, you have to because
start a business. No one started a business as a charity. So most capitalists they have a capitalist backing. But just me personally, how I run this location is very, very socialist minded, and unfortunately not Jimmy Buffett minded. So
you don't sell overpriced margarita makers. By the way, ICE will be showing up at your door tomorrow. I'm very sorry.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of No Kings marches that are going to distract them. So we're
That's all happening.
Thousands of people in frog inflatable costumes. The violent left.
Yeah, exactly. Drinking Kava in frog costumes.
What are they doing? They're chilling the fuck out, and it's scaring us.
That is fucking hilarious. Well, JR, man, it's been a lot of fun. I actually cannot wait to do an episode.
We got to get down there.
Yeah, I think that's going to be fucking awesome.
We may be coming down once to kick the tires before we record.
Absolutely. Hit me up with an email. I'll make sure that I'm here. I'm generally here Tuesday through Saturdays from 6 until 2 a.m. So
you're taking a late shift. All right, cool.
We might have to do one of our third Thursdays down there.
Oh, that would be even better. We do. We do a little.
We have like a whole area that we could do it in too. It'll be cool.
Oh, that's fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah, it'll be
awesome.
rad.
Well, thanks again, dude. I can't wait to send everybody your way. And have a great weekend, everybody, and see you at the bar.
All right, rock and roll. Bye.
All right. Later.
Be subversive, irreverent.
Health is wealth, but you knew that.
Everybody knows that.
But so is following us on social media at Irreverent Health. And check out our website for more exclusive content at irreverenthealth.com.
Oh, I like this.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Irreverent Health.